Okay, so let me just start this right off the bat. Let me get the awkward out of the room. I will be posting this on YouTube because of certain things, like the fact that it's an AMA and all that fun shit. But, that being said, there is a thing that I have to say before we actually even start the stream. A little bit of a story, and then some schedule stuff. Or actually, the schedule stuff first. So, schedule-wise, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, starting Thursday, I wanted to use Final Fantasy as a little bit of a buffer between the two major games. We just finished Hollow Knight, and that was awesome. By which I mean, good ending Hollow Knight. But, that being said, on Thursday, we're gonna start the 2 Gravity Rush games. And I've seen people play Gravity Rush. I've played a little bit of Gravity Rush on somebody else's profile. I know the first game is short. Like, I was gonna 100% them both on stream, and honestly, the first game would take 3 streams max. The second game, not so much, because I've had the controller put in my hands for the second to last boss battle. That is some bullshit. Whoever designed the second to last boss battle of Gravity Rush 2 needed to be fired, because 1, holy shit, that person can track you everywhere. 2, the only way to hurt them is, like, with certain attacks, or by throwing canisters at them, but where the canisters are is completely random. Where the person is completely random. They can teleport super fucking fast. They go supersonic speed. It sucks. It sucks. It's playing Silver, fighting supersonic, and that's not fun. Even at all. So that's a thing. Also, we might start doing other things. So Saturday nights might be horror nights from now on. Unsure, undecided, but they might be horror nights. My roommate Ash wants to do a bunch of horror games. Wanted to join my stream. I'm like, haha, I'm still in charge. It's my stream. I'll fucking kill you if you take over and shit. And they're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Please do not kill me. And I'm like, haha, I'll kill you. Because we have fun. And that's fine. So we've already started a list of fucking like 80,000 horror games to play. Or just in general, things to play. There's, Dino Crisis, there's Resident Evil 7 and 8, there's Parasite Eve 1 and 2, Fatal Frame, the entire series, Dead Space, Amnesia, Outlast, Evil Within, Layers of Fear, which I've never played before, Alan Wake, Slender, Eternal Darkness, Inside, Call of Cthulhu, American McGee's Alice, and its sequel, Blair Witch, both the current first-person one that was made by the people who did, I want to say Soma, or Layers of Fear. It's one of those developers. But also, I would love to find the original 3, the trilogy of Blair Witch games. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to find those, but I'll figure out a way. Carrion, of which I've already played, so that would be Ash's game. Prey, Fragile Dreams, the Wii game, which I've always wanted to play. Echo Night Beyond specifically, because I don't really care about the other 2. Clock Towers, probably more 3 than anything. Martian Gothic Unification, Deadly Premonitions 1 and 2, Siren 1, 2, and probably Blood Curse, the D Series 1 and 2, Illbleed, Gregory Horror Show, Lone Survivor, because I remember playing that game for Geek Weekend when that was a group channel, and technically this is a spin-off of, but fucking whatever. Rule of Rose, because I've never played it, and Silent Hills 1, 2, and 3. Probably also 4, probably Shattered Memories. We have a list. there's a list. But that being said, it's now story time. This is like the big thing. This is the big thing before the AMA even starts. This is going to be a long story for a short payoff, but this is extremely important payoff, okay? This matters for things I've said in the past on stream and on a few places. The short version is we are no longer going to we're going to try our hardest here at the Let's Play Kingdom to not use the stream or videos as outlets for our rage against our roommates. This is not an anger outlet. We have to stop that shit. And we're not going to call certain people certain things. That is rude as hell. Even if, things have happened in the past and yada yada blah blah. It doesn't fucking matter. Don't be a cunt, Phoebe. The long version of it is this. On Saturday we went to get my meds. It is an hour and a half drive to the pharmacy. We're gonna make a day out of it. Yada yada blah blah. Xbox, always be a cunt. Okay, so on Saturday we're supposed to get my meds. Go to the pharmacy, hour and a half drive. Specifically, an hour and a half drive to get my medication from CVS. But the thing is, one, that's close to CVS, and two, to do any other pharmacy when I was already doing CVS back in Massachusetts would be a shit ton of fucking paperwork and everything, and I didn't feel like doing paperwork when I first moved out here, because I already had to do enough with signing address forms and everything. So that was the thing. Besides, the city, which is a city, that we go to get my meds at, have like enough crazy shit to do that we can actually like make a day out of it, and it's just a nice way to get the fuck out of the house. Remember those words, get the fuck out of the house. Those are going to be important for this story. We go. I googled when the fuck CVS closes. It closes at 6 p.m. I'm like, sweet. Google fucking lied to me. They closed at 5. We got there at 5:20. So I go into Target, start going down the aisles, going like, yeah, pharmacy time, get there. You know, the metal, the blinds are down, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I come out of Target all pissy, and I'm like, so who wants to come back out here another hour and a half drive tomorrow? And it's like, what happened? They're fucking closed! Google lied! Because, you know, Google lie. We went Saturday or Sunday morning back to place. Just Ash and I. So on the way back, we started to have a conversation, because I'm like, hey, now that I have Ash by myself, let's have this major conversation. So we started this conversation. The whole thing was pretty much how a lot of us in the house did not like the person who last stream, or like 2 streams ago, I was calling them it. And that's rude as fuck. Like, super rude as fuck. And I apologize for that. And I apologized for that to them yesterday. Again, there's a lot of things they do or have down there, just like, what? But I know for a fact there are a lot of things that everybody has done, including myself, that everybody else in the house has gone, ugh. So I can't complain when I know I'm also part of a problem for a lot of people. So, what happened was, we had this conversation, and Ash pointed out something that was really fucking interesting. And I had to think it over, and I realized this is actually like a major thing that should, if there are not studies about this, there have to be like scientific studies in the future about this. When you're stuck in a house with people, tension builds up. For some reason, houses are just like big, huge fucking tension magnets. But as soon as you leave the house, all of it fucking disappears. Like, my Ash and I saw Nobody, the new Rob Odenkirk kind of John Wick type movie, and straight up, it was just the 3 of us in the theater by ourselves, and we had so much fun watching that movie, like yelling at the screen, everything. We were going crazy, and we had fun with it because we were the only people in the theater, 3 seats. Fucking who cares? And I realized Ash was right. Every time that we've gone out, even with the Mai, all of the problems just wash away. But as soon as we're back in the house, all of it just starts building up again. And I realized that that's actually 100% true, because I used to have problems with family and stuff. But as soon as we went out to, like, dinner or something, we were just hanging out and having fun and all this crazy shit. So I said, you know what? Yeah, no, I can 100% agree with this weird, non-scientific bullshit. So yesterday, being what I thought was initially a crazy person, and funny enough, I had the perfect excuse. Because we got an old roommate's letter in the mail. Now that they're at a different address, so I had to bring them their mail anyway. And I was just like, hey, wants to go with me on an adventure? And I was just like, no. And Chris was like, no. And Maya said yes. And I'm like, sweet, fucking perfect. So we dropped off the mail, and then we hit the bar. And I did have some alcohol. Just like 1 pitcher, pint, whatever the fuck you want to call it. A mason jar of White Russian. That fucking kicked my ass. But, that being said, at the end of the day, just them and I, we had a good fucking time. And I paid for it, and everything was good. And I like even talked to them about a lot of the problems that we. Did I just put the same person twice in two separate locations? That's fucking hilarious. But the point of the matter was, everything again was just gone. And I paid for food and everything, and we just had a good time. And we'll probably on Saturday or something, I'm hoping, Ash and I will just have a day with the three of us. Because that's not a pairing that normally happens in this house. Normally Chris and I go out, or Konako and I go out, or Chris Konako and I go out, or some crazy fucking mixture. But like, Amai, one other person, and I don't get to have that interaction. If Amai comes, all 5 people are going. And I realized, and I even said to Ash, we should just go to instead of going to X, we should go to Y at some point. Just the 3 of us, and just have a day where the 3 of us build these connections and stuff. Because if you're gonna talk about the fact that the house has all this tension, and you want me to get better at it, let's have a day out where I can get better at it and shit. So that was decided. Which also is how it's decided that Ash is gonna, like, probably do horror stuff on my stream and stuff, with me doing side commentary. It's still my stream, but they'll be playing certain horror games on the horror list Saturday nights that I've already played. Like, they will probably be doing the Parasite Eve games, because I've played all 3. They have done Resident Evil 7. I'm gonna be doing Resident Evil 7 for the stream, because I still have yet to play 7. And shit like that. So that will be good. It's just, it's crazy that you live with Ash Ketchum. Xbox. This gets funnier, actually, because they're not Ash Ketchum. But I have dated a Gary Oake. The only difference is that instead of O-A-K-E, instead of O-A-K, it's O-A-K-E, but I have dated a Gary Oake before, who plays a lot of Pokemon and shit, so that's a thing. So it's like, oh, fuck. So yeah, I think that things will get better and stuff, and I'm hoping things get better. The other thing that I thought about doing, like a fucking nerd, was streams of unboxing cards. Because I guess people do that. They do card unboxing streams and stuff, and I thought about that. And you're probably all gonna go, Yu-Gi-Oh! Ooh, Magic the Gathering. No, I'm the loser who started playing I haven't even played it, but I bought 3 booster packs for the new Digimon card game, which is funny because I have my deck from the original Digimon card game still in a Tupperware in the closet, so you can tell there's probably a problem here. So there might be like unboxings of Digimon cards, like losers. Other things in the future: horror streams, potential card thing streams, potential reading streams. There are thoughts. There are different things. But Thursday will be Gravity Rush, and Gravity Rush will be good. The other thing, and I have to message Ash about it, or in 16 minutes, take a short little break and go talk to them about it, is I thought of an idea, because they've played Deadly Premonition 2, and they and I both fucking love the hell out of Alan Wake. Or they have never watched Twin Peaks, which blows my mind. They know nothing about it. They're going in completely clean. Xbox, me neither. To be fair, you don't have... Yeah, as I said, you, as far as I know, don't play Alan Wake or Deadly Premonition. It doesn't matter for you. But a lot of Alan Wake is allusions to Twin Peaks. Deadly Premonition is practically the video game version of Twin Peaks. Gravity Falls is practically the children's version of Twin Peaks. It's all like one big thing. There's an episode of Psych that is a tribute to Twin Peaks. Fucking people love Twin Peaks. You either love it or you hate it. That being said, I was just like, my brain went, you know what? If Ash is already gonna be on my streams and stuff, let's do this. Let's have like a video series where they watch Twin Peaks, knowing the stuff that are homages to Twin Peaks, and see what they think, right? Like, I thought that was a good idea. The idea of, everything that Twin Peaks inspired But can you guess what's about to happen next and what's going on in the show and everything, knowing just the inspiration? I thought that would be a really cool idea, coming from the, like, inside looking out, or whatever. And I don't know, it's probably stupid. I don't care. Favorite movie? Oh god, I was gonna say, favorite movie and favorite game and everything are such, like, crazy questions to me, because there's so many answers that my brain goes, you might have to double down and do, like, sub-questions, like favorite drama and shit like that. Because, like, if we're talking about favorite movie in the sense of nostalgia, it's, like, a Goofy movie, or Cool Runnings. Into the Spider-Verse is up there. Fifth Element. Favorite deep or existential crisis movie. Can I count Gravity in that situation, or The Martian, because they go through some crazy fucking crises? Otherwise, deep or existential crisis. The problem is, like, I'm talking about Twin Peaks earlier. I watched Twin Peaks, but I haven't seen enough of Lynch's movies, which I would say are deep, crazy bullshit existential crisis movies. Like, I have not seen Eraserhead, and I need to watch Eraserhead. I have not seen, I recommend Blue Velvet. I've heard Blue Velvet is crazy. I also need to watch Mulholland Drive. But you understand what I mean, then. I also have to watch, what's his one that is on Netflix, the short film, You Can't Trust Jack, I think it is. That's on my list. The First Cube, I would say. Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness are some of my favorite movies. It also doesn't help that Bruce Campbell is, like, my favorite actor, because he's just so out there and fun and stuff. Lynch's Rabbits is also pretty good. I've never even heard that. I don't know what that is. Which means that's even better. So yeah, favorite deep or existential crisis movie, I'm gonna say, I'll go with Gravity. Because that whole movie is just Murphy's Law for an hour and a half or some crazy amount of time. It is, I have solved a singular problem, now 18 more problems have shown up. And it's honestly just Sandra Bullock. And George Clooney. And that's the whole fucking movie. And it works. It works so fucking well. Favorite RPG? Oh, that's... If you're asking me my favorite Final Fantasy, it's 6. I fucking have played 6 so much. It's insane. I've beaten 6 so many times on the Game Boy Advance. It's insane. I mean, 6 is the best Final Fantasy, right? And I always find it funny that everybody goes, Kefka, yo. Exactly. Kefka's a better villain than Sephiroth. Kefka wins. And people, like, always were going, oh, fucking the saddest moment in Final Fantasy is when Aerith died. My brain went, really, motherfucker? Really? Did none of you make it halfway through Final Fantasy VI? Well, no. Let me tell you a spoiler for a game that is like 20 plus years old, you sons of bitches. If you think Aerith dying is like the most horrifying, sad thing in Final Fantasy, you have yet to do the part of Final Fantasy VI where you are playing as Celes for a short while in the apocalypse. And she fucking tries to kill herself by jumping off of a cliff. I don't know of any other Final Fantasy character who has tried to commit suicide. Let fucking alone, if memory serves, you're the one who has to play as her and walk her to the fucking cliff. If memory serves, that's not a cutscene. You have to move her to the cliff yourself for her to jump. But Aerith's death. So... And also, people. One-Winged Angel is not the best final boss theme. I'm sorry. That's Dancing Mad. If you think One-Winged Angel is better than Dancing Mad, You've lost your fucking mind. Tears theme is also one of the best tracks ever. Yes! Abso-fucking-lutely! Cyan's theme's great. All the themes in that game are fucking amazing. So yeah, favorite RPG, Final Fantasy VI. If we're not talking about Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts 2. If I can't use Kingdom Hearts 2, either Lost Odyssey or, and I didn't beat it, Groundlands of Heritage War. Also Secret of Evermore, because Secret of Evermore is just the big nostalgia game for me. Why aren't you a VTuber? Xbox? I don't know if I've ever told that. But I've actually thought about it. I have thought about doing it. I thought about jumping on the bandwagon like a scrub. Hell, Plague of Gripes jumped on the bandwagon. A few people I like have jumped on the VTuber bandwagon, and they've been doing it for like a decade or something. But I would want it to be something different. Which will, funnily enough, jump back to the previous question of favorite RPG. Because if I were to be a VTuber, and I've talked about it with like people in the house and stuff, if I did a VTuber model, it would not be a fucking VTuber model. Because my favorite VTuber is Snuffy, just because I love that fucking model so much, how intricate it is. She lifts her hands, and the model's 3D hands actually move. Not her My Little Pony model, not her Flash animated model. Her 3D model is like the best fucking model I've ever seen for anything, and I love it. So that being said, I would want something crazy. I would want something different. I would want something that nobody else has done before. And I know what I want to do for a VTuber model if I do a VTuber model. Because there are already PNG VTubers. There are people who, they press a button and the mouth will open and close, and press other buttons and certain actions will happen. It's just a bunch of PNGs. It's a puppet. I would want something like that, where it's I control buttons or something, because doing it with face cam would be extremely hard, if not impossible, the idea that I have. Because the idea I have is a Final Fantasy VI based sprite. The overworld sprite that exists in Final Fantasy VI, or the town sprites of Final Fantasy VI, when people are talking and stuff, and their mouths are just black boxes and everything. If I were to do a VTuber model, I would want that. I would want a Final Fantasy VI type sprite of myself in the Lolita dress and the cat ears and everything. When I opened and talked to the black box where the open and expand that is the mouth, if I look over, the sprite's eyes will like shift 1 pixel to the left. Stuff like that. That's what I would want to do for a VTuber model. That is my crazy idea for if I were to do a VTuber model, what it is. The animated fucking, like, 8-bit Dungeons & Dragons / 8-bit theater type shit is what my model would be. And I know that's probably impossible, but fuck you, that's what I want. If I do a VTuber, if I become a VTuber, that's what I want. I don't want what everybody else has. I want something interesting and unique. Any life advice for your fans? 2 bits. 1, do it for you. Whether it be, like, I write, I stream, I record, I've done music mixing before, all that fun shit. And I do put it online, and I like to see the likes, I like to see the comments, I like to see people enjoying it and shit. But honestly, at the end of the day, do it for you. Do it because you want to do it, because you have fun doing it, because it puts you in a good mood. Do it for you. And if it's not making you happy and stuff, give it a break. See how you feel about it in like a day or 2. Or a week. And the other thing is, fuck the haters. I guess that's like the best way I can put it is fuck the haters. If somebody thinks it is disgusting, something that you do or have said or something, there will still be somebody at the end of the day that enjoys the thing you put out. Because I've seen, like, people do, like, some of the worst art or the most disturbing things. There's, like, we used to have a roommate here, and they made, like, the worst comics I've ever seen. They just downloaded 3D models and put them into, like, a posing thing. They never even made their own models or anything. And I was like, these models look awful, the comics look awful, all that. But at the end of the day, $800 a month on Patreon, something, people clearly like it. I did not, but somebody else did. And you know what? I was the hater at that point. And I'm still the hater at that point, but at the end of the day, somebody liked it. And at the end of the day, if you have a bunch of haters and everything, somebody will like it. Do it for you, and be happy that at least one other person enjoyed it. I think that is actually just really good advice in general, not just for fans, but for everybody. Do something for you and fucking don't I don't want to say don't judge people because I judge people. But like, if you dislike something and somebody else likes it, like I fucking hate World of Warcraft, but I know people who have liked it. I fucking hate Fallout. I hate the idea of Fallout. I've never had fun playing a Fallout game, but at the end of the day, Amai likes Fallout, and if Amai likes Fallout, if somebody likes a game that I don't, if I cannot get it, if I don't think the plot and the gameplay and everything is fun, but somebody else does, they're seeing something that I didn't see, and I respect them for that. Because if they enjoyed it, then somebody enjoyed it. What's your pant size? I don't know, 16 or 18? The pants I have grabbed right now are a 16 medium khakis. My feminine jeans are like Jeans, not Genes, are 36, 30, or 38, 30. Favorite food, though, is a really loaded question, because again, that's like a subcategory thing. If you're asking me what like my favorite Mexican food is, absolutely Taco Bell. But I don't eat tacos from Taco Bell. I eat quesadillas. I love chicken quesadillas. Any place that has a really good chicken quesadilla is my top. If you're asking me like my favorite food in general is Italian, I guess, because I love fucking pasta, spaghetti, and ravioli, and tortellini and shit is so good. Ziti is great. I used to eat it without the sauce, and I still kind of sometimes do just not do sauce. I'll just do Parmesan cheese and pasta and be fucking done with it. But if you have like a really good sauce with it, oh, and pizza. Like recently, I've been craving Papagino's and Pizzeria Regina's. The only like sub places nearby are Subway, and Subway's like, oh, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's microwaved and shit. But if you have the ability to go to Massachusetts, do yourself a favor. Go to D'Angelo's. Get a calzone from Pat's in Milton. Go to Oake's across the street from the Roxbury Crossing Orange Line station. Go to Celebrity Pizza in Watertown on the 71 or 73 route. Those are fucking great places to eat. Your first impression for everyone you met here. If here you mean like the Final Fantasy XIV, then if you're not a fucking Lalafell, you get no pets. If you're saying first impression for everyone like in the community or like on Discord or whatever, that's another loaded question. A lot of these are going to be loaded questions because I'll have like the big, crazy, multi-layered answers. Because my answer is, I want to like everybody. I was thinking more of the stream chat. Oh, then yeah, you're all cool. I love stream chat. If you took the time to watch my stream over the 80,000 people that are on Twitch and stuff, you're awesome. There are people who are much higher than everybody, than me and everything, but if you somehow you decided, fuck all those people, you decided to watch me. Like, the fact that I got raided last week, but that somebody thought I was good enough to have a raid. The fact that out of the 20 people, 7 people said, no, we will continue to follow and stuff, meant that there are people who went, no, she is awesome, even though I've only watched for a minute. And I love that. I mean, that's me being narcissistic, but at the end of the day, I do love it. So I think you're all fucking awesome people. And you're all kind and loving for being able to say, for having the courage to go, we will love this little person above other people. No, Lambda, you're part of that list. Stop that. Why is Squall so emo? Oh, God. Where the fuck to begin? Okay, I'm gonna be honest about this. I tried playing 8. Squall being emo makes me fucking laugh. Because Squall being emo means, like, I'm a fucking great-ass soldier. I missed a fucking statue. Let's go back. But no, Squall is emo because he got his face cut up and he was a pretty boy. Now he's no longer as pretty. Xbox, why is this Roblox now? Get the fuck out of my stream. It is Roblox because they decided to add to the gold... One, they added the gold saucer to Final Fantasy XIV. And then they said, here's a bunch of mini games that give you, like, absolutely no MGP unless you're, like, really starting. Lambda, why is it pronounced TEEDUS when TIDUS makes thematical sense for the tradition of characters named after forces of nature? That's a really good question. Oh yeah, Squall, Cloud, Terra. What force of nature is Furion? From 2. Or Cecil from 4. That really started with 6. I'd say, because... Yeah, Terra, Cloud. Bart's isn't a force of nature that I know of. What fucking force of nature is Zidane? TIDUS sounds dumb. I think I used to say TIDUS. Bart's is a force of nature. Is it really? TIDUS is named TIDUS instead of TIDUS for Tide, because at the end of the day, his name might not be a force of nature, but his laugh is. Runescape stream when, oh my god. You really want... Okay, you know what? Remind me and I'll make it a thing on Patreon. Or something. If I can make the money to fucking get a new computer. If this somehow can pay for by itself without touching the tax money or anything, can pay for a fucking gaming PC, sure. RuneScape streams. That's your fucking ultimatum. If YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch streaming can pay for fucking a gaming PC, then sure, I will use it to stream RuneScape. Original RuneScape. I don't know what the fuck new RuneScape is, and I don't care. Did Brock have like 9 to 10 sisters and brothers? No, Toxie. He had more. He had closer to 30. His dad fucks. His mom's vagina is like the size of a black hole. I'm not entirely sure all of those are with Brock's dad. Because otherwise, that guy can go for fucking hours, it seems. Or a bunch of them are like triplets or octuplets or something. You should be like 3 steps away when we kill him. First Final Fantasy game. 7. That's not a joke. I'm serious. It was 7. I bought it at a KB Toys along with Mega Man X4. But yeah, my first was 7. Then I went to Toxic. Do you prefer gummy bears or worms? Worms. Because worms are a lot more interesting, because sour gummy worms exist, but no sour gummy bear. But no, second favorite Final Fantasy over 6 would be... I feel like 7 is such a generic answer, because everybody has nostalgia for it. By the way, I'm not counting 14, because 14 is now my favorite MMO, and I'm not counting it as a Final Fantasy game. That being said, since I'm not counting 14 as one of my answers for anything Final Fantasy related, really, even though I should, because otherwise 14 would absolutely be on top. Then besides 6, my second favorite would be... I know I'm going to sound... Oh, God. Can I only choose mainline games? Only numbered games? Because if I don't have to choose numbered games, I either choose Dissidia Duodecim, or I would pick Tactics Advance. If I have to pick a numbered game, you're going to hear me say an answer that you're not going to believe, and you're going to yell at me, but I have a legit reason why. Crisis Core. I'm assuming you mean Crisis Core. I wasn't even thinking of those games. No. Nor is it Dirge of Cerberus, but that would also be like a fairly controversial answer for second favorite Final Fantasy. No, my second favorite Final Fantasy, if you're not counting 14... and you're not counting 7 because everybody has 7 in their top 3, so the other CC. I don't know what the other CC is. Oh, Crystal Chronicles? I've never played Crystal Chronicles in my entire life. Any of them. No, my controversial for second favorite numbered game is 13-2. 13 is actually a pretty decent game. If you call it a hallway simulator, which, I mean, it is. But no shit, a lot of 7 at points is also a hallway simulator. 10 is a hallway. Like, I never understood why people were like, oh, 13's a hallway simulator, it's bad. So is 10! 10's a lot of fucking hallways. Everybody sucks 10's dick. Fuck do you want? But 13 I actually liked. Lambda, I hate 10 the most. I can understand it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. But 13 too, everything that people hated about 13 was fixed in 13-2. Gotta stop doing the apocalypse threat because I gotta win Blitzball. I mean, in 7, you gotta stop doing the apocalypse threat because you gotta do Fort Condor's tower defense. Aw man, 6, we're in the post-apocalypse? Let's just go to the Coliseum for a little bit, am I right? Kefka's zapping the world randomly because he's bored? Let's go to the Coliseum, the former opera house. Woot woot. Ultimisia, fuck back cards. Let's go, old man. Absolutely! Triple triad for life. Tetramaster? No. But no, 13-2 would be my second favorite numbered one because, like I said, a lot of the things that were wrong with 13 that people had, which I understand, got fixed. Hallway Simulator? No. Open world. Yes, it's still an anime, absolutely. The ability to have a third-party member that was like a creature that you raised and stuff, as a person who wasn't even a person who liked Pokemon, but I liked that. And I love 13-2 because the villain is so sympathetic. Like, I wanted Caius to win because I completely understood where he was going with. Because Caius' whole thing was, I have watched this girl get incarnated like 900 times now, and God is stupid. And every time I have to watch her die. She deserves to live past 12. Fuck God. And I went, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. It was the same thing with Arden from 15. Arden was, like, 15 is one of the worst Final Fantasy games I've ever played. But Arden, his whole thing was, I solved the initial apocalypse my way. And because I didn't do it the way the gods wanted it to with the special ritual, and instead did a different way where I kept my life, but still stopped the problem, they abandoned me. Fuck the gods. And I went, you're correct! Absolutely! And then, like, at the end of the game, his whole thing was, you either I rule a world where I keep humanity alive but on the brink because fuck you, I've earned this, to which I went, you've earned this, or you kill me, stop me from being the villain, but that also means I finally get to have peace, because I have all these demons inside of me. Arden was one of the best villains in a Final Fantasy game, because he's not even a villain. He's absolutely not a fucking villain. And neither was Caius. They are both anti-heroes that get put in the villain spotlight because of the people that you're playing as. And fuck Noctis. Noctis is a loser. But 13-2, second best, because Caius is such a great villain. not a villain. The Colosseum DLC, being able to fight like Fives, Gilgamesh, Omega, different characters like super bosses and stuff was awesome. Fact that 100%ing a Final Fantasy game actually did something because of the fragments. Oh my god, the fragment system was great. Alternate timeline endings by fighting super bosses and getting like cutesy little funny endings. Oh my god, I have never seen a Final Fantasy game do that. I haven't seen it since.